In front of the Queen and 14,000 ecstatic fans, she steadied her nerves long enough to beat Betty Stover and win the title she'd been seeking for 16 agonizing years. It was a standing ovation that day for Virginia Wade.
Reminder of the day that the Queen took tea with Virginia Wade. Never to be forgotten by anybody who follows the game of tennis. I think she enjoyed that comment, the Kentish maid.
Now I will ask the Duke of Kent formally to measure the net and declare the court officially open.
It's a nice. That's going to go back to the museum, sir.
I declare this new #1 court officially open.
Now, as the official party leaves the court, I would like to ask our champions, please, to take a lap of honor around this beautiful new stadium so that you can all get a closer look at them and perhaps take a few snaps to show the children. So our thanks to all the past champions and to someone up there who was obviously watching and gave us a rain-free parade. At 2:50.
Now thanks to John Barrett for steering us through that ceremony, and it all took place a few moments ago. But we're going to go live back now inside #1 court, because now it'll be down to business. And of course, the first player we're going to see on court there, Daniel Nestor from Canada. All eyes on this young man today, of course. He's become a tremendous favourite with the fans, and why not? Great Wimbledon last year. He's had a very good year. And now he's had to overcome that elbow injury. And can he have as good a Wimbledon this year as he did last time? We certainly hope so. His opponent, Daniel Nestor, and watching the match for us will be Mark Cox, and once again, it'll be John Barrett.
Thank you, Desmond. In fact, we're all just hoping that the rain stays away, because while you were talking, the big black cloud has appeared overhead, but let's hope nothing untoward happens, because that would be rather sad on the first day of this lovely new stadium. Well, I think Tim Henman, Mark Cox, will be seeing this both as a challenge and a bit of an ordeal.
Yes, I think it is a difficult match for him. Great opportunity, as you say. He's fortunately, I think, up against an opponent, Daniel Nestor, who's a fine player, but it's a match that is well winnable. It's a match that he should win. It's a match, if he does win, it'll set him in the right frame of mind for the tournament. But this is, of course, a brand new court, a magnificent court. There's no question about it. And it's a new experience for all of us out here looking at this, and particularly for Tim Henman. The occasion is a big one. The expectations thrust upon him are enormous, and this, of course, is possibly the problem that he's confronted with, because he cannot devoid himself from the national feeling, the willingness for him to do well here, if not win the tournament.
And in fact, John McEnroe was outspoken enough in a Sunday paper that I read to suggest that he thought he was capable of winning this tournament even this year, and I thought that was a very brave statement by John McEnroe. Unquestionably, he has the sort of talent that is capable of winning this tournament and any other tournament. But for it to happen so suddenly after all the misfortunes he's had would be almost a miracle.
Well, you know, the modern game, lots of funny things are happening. We cast our minds back just a few weeks ago in the French Championships, and Gustave Kuerten, 20 years of age from Brazil, out of nowhere, really, in tennis terms anyway, he managed to win the tournament. And look at all the seeds that were waylaid in that championship. Well, the modern game really now is a game of change, and anything can happen.
You're so right. Anything can happen, and it probably will. A line from Hell's a Poppin'. What a film that was. So, Tim Henman, here he is, 22 now, 6'1", seeded 14 here this year. The first time he's been seeded with a world ranking that slipped down to 20. He's been up to 14, I think it was, his highest. And he's had that wonderful run at Wimbledon here last year. That's the place to look, the quarter-finals here last year, and that is why there will be pressure upon him once again to perform. Did well at the US Open last year, in fact beat Todd Martin, I remember, and lost in a good match to Edberg. But whether or not the confidence is there, we shall only discover as he begins to play, because confidence is the factor that has been missing. Ever since he had to have that arm operation to remove small pieces of bone in the right elbow, little pieces that he loved to rattle in a little bottle he used to carry around with him for days afterwards. Quite amusing that was. But whether he's recovered fully from that, I don't think we shall know either, because I think the test of a 5-set match on grass, where the balls are going to be heavy to start with, will sort out any weaknesses in physique. But it is in the mind that the job has to be done, and if he is fully confident again, and recent form would suggest that it's beginning to come, then I think he has the winning of this match. But his opponent is a fine player, a left-hander, as you see, from Canada, probably better at doubles than singles just at the moment. He's 24, a couple of years older and an inch taller, with a world ranking at the moment of 105, which is around its best. And that was in August last year that he was just 2 places higher. And he's not set the world on fire at the Grand Slams yet, as you see, but he has played very, very well in doubles, a semi-finalist here in 1995 with Knowles. And
Ladies and gentlemen, the warm-up is suspended.
I cannot believe it, but I shall have to, because Jane Taborthan has started to fall. Well, what horrible luck. But at least, Mark, they haven't started, and that would have been much worse.
And they've sampled the court. They've adjusted a little bit to the atmosphere, so that is a little bit of positive memory, I think, in the bank for Tim Henman. Gives him an opportunity to adjust to the circumstances, but a great disappointment, there's no question. And I think the ground staff and in danger there, Nestor, of being swamped by the ground staff who's so keen to do their job efficiently.
It reminded me of one of the groundsmen last year who got trapped under the court and knocked flat, and he was all right eventually, but it just gave him a little bit of an embarrassing moment to be recognized by his friends, much photographed after that incident. But Nestor escaping a similar fate. Only lovely stadium this is, as these folk will discover. Circular in design rather than octagonal, as the centre court is, and the seats have got a beautiful rake to them, so that you get a wonderful view. I've sat in the very top row here, and it doesn't seem very far away at all.